It happened again. Christmas snuck up on me, and it's less than 10 days away. So in light of that, I thought that I'd do something a little bit different. So today we are going to do the 5 most embarrassing and weirdest Christmas gift stories the internet has to offer. And some of these gifts include, but are not limited to, a box of rocks, a wooden Spock statue, and lingerie from Grandma. Also, I'll be telling the stories from the first-person perspective because they don't really make sense coming from the angle of a third person. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. Number 1. Without a doubt, the weirdest gift I've ever gotten was a gift card to a lingerie store from my grandma. And actually the craziest part wasn't even the gift itself, but the fact that she made my poor 19-year-old brother go in and buy it. And as he told it, the conversation with the cashier went something like this. "So, you shopping for your girlfriend?" "No, my sister. Well, actually my grandma, but..." Yeah, never mind. Number 2. My parents are separated, and when I was younger, I really wanted a Nintendo 64. Both my mom and dad asked what I wanted, and I told them, along with my grandparents. Come Christmas morning, I was delighted to see a Nintendo 64 beneath the tree. But lo and behold, I go to my grandparents' house later that day and open the last present under the tree, and once again, it's a Nintendo 64. My mom hadn't been talking to my grandparents at the time, and the miscommunication about who was getting what was pretty obvious by the look people were giving each other. And the next day, my mom drops me off at my dad's house, and again, they weren't really getting along at the time, and jokingly says to him, "I don't suppose you got him a Nintendo 64. How did you know? To this day, I still have all 3. Number 3. My dad is the master of misdirection, and you'll see what I mean by that in just a minute. But I have the tendency to be gullible as well, so that unfortunately makes things a lot more fun at the expense of my humiliation. I'd asked for a laptop this Christmas, but when the day arrived, saw nothing that even remotely resembled a laptop under the tree that morning. But finally he says, "Oh, hold on a second," and he appears with this wrapped box approximately laptop sized. I open it, and sure enough, it's a laptop box. Not quite the type that I'd wanted, but hey, who am I to complain? I'm getting a laptop after all. And so I proceed to open the box, and it's rocks. It's full of newspaper and rocks. And after I got over the initial disbelief, I look up at him with this what the heck expression on my face, and all he says is, "Well, don't you like it?" And after a couple seconds of awkward silence, he bursts out laughing and says, "Oh, come on, I'm just kidding. Here's your real gift." He proceeds to frisbee toss this box to me, and because my hand-eye coordination is complete garbage, I drop the box and I hear a crash of metal and plastic inside, and I start to panic and frantically start unwrapping. As I'm doing this, I quietly yell, "Why would you do that?" And he just shrugs. He watches as I open the box, and it's a disassembled laptop. More specifically, it was my brother's laptop that was bought 12 years before and was completely toast well before Christmas came around. So I knew for a fact that it was junk. And the look on my face must have been pure misery because he and the rest of the family thought it was completely hilarious. Through the laughter and my confusion, my dad pulled another box out from behind him and this time slid it towards me and said, "Merry Christmas." Lo and behold, it was the laptop that I had asked for, and all I could do was laugh. Number 4. I had really bad allergies when I was younger, and keep that in mind because that's a very important detail later in the story. So there was an old lady who lived on the other side of the block, and she lived completely alone, not even with any pets. And she was nice enough, but anyone could tell that she wasn't all there mentally, probably from being lonely so many years. I would often run into her at the bus stop in the mornings waiting for the school bus, and in early February I saw her walk up to the street corner, and when she saw I was there she did a 180 and scurried back home. I thought it was strange, but 5 minutes later she comes back up to the bus stop and extremely excitedly says, "Hello," and starts asking how I was, and I entertain her since I'm probably the first person she's talked to in days and because she's genuinely a nice old lady. I have a late Christmas present. I was shopping, and when I saw them, I thought of you." And she hands me this perfectly wrapped Christmas present. It even had the curled ribbon around it. And so I carefully open it, and it's a 4-pack of handkerchiefs. And she absolutely explodes with happiness when I finally see what's in there. And after a few minutes more of awkward conversation, she just walks away, and that was that. Number 5. I don't know if this gift is necessarily all that weird, but it definitely was a WTF moment when I got it. So one year my uncle, who by the way doesn't have a single artistic bone in his body, decides to carve my Christmas present out of wood. And for context, he lives 500 miles away from me and didn't ask at all what I wanted for Christmas, so to this day I still have no idea what possessed him to do this for me. But anyways, there I am on Christmas opening my presents from him, and it's Spock. He carved a Mr. Spock out of wood, and vaguely painting it to look like Leonard Nimoy. And to make this even weirder, I was 28 years old at the time with no interest at all in Star Trek. And just out of the blue, there's this foot-high thing with a blue tunic, black hair, and pants next to our Christmas tree. And I never found out why he thought that was a good idea, but the best I could do was roll with it. And this family decided to go on a cruise the next month, and I decided to take Spock along with us. We took him everywhere while on the boat, taking pictures with Spock at our dinner table, and over the toilet getting seasick, and even brought him suntanning on the deck. And matter of fact, here's a photo of Spock coming along with us for a dip in the pool. Oh, God.